Hello, Ashley.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, what did you come in today for?
I was referred by my primary doctor, Dr. Schmidt.
Okay.
Yeah. They've, or I guess he's noticed some drastic changes in my weight when I've gone for physicals and stuff, and he's convinced that I might be suffering from an eating disorder. But I don't think that that's the case at all. I've never had any distorted images of my body, or I mean, and there have been times where I thought that I was really thin, but I just didn't know what to do about it. But my eating hasn't changed or anything like that.
Yeah, you come in with some interesting symptoms, because, yeah, your doctor did say here that he's worried that there may be some sort of eating disorder or something along the lines of that, because he has noticed dramatic weight loss in the last just couple months even. Do you, I mean, start with the basics. Do you go to school?
Yes, I'm a senior in high school.
And how have you been exercising like this always? I mean,
I think it's picked up a little bit more this year than it has in the past, but I just figured because it's like senior year and I'm planning out where I want to go to college and stuff, like my anxiety level went up. So, and
so there's
that's,
some anxiety there, okay.
yeah, and that's just a really good way for me to release it.
Yeah, I mean, people have been known to exercise to release any sort of anxieties or nervous, maybe. I mean, I'm not saying you're nervous about anything, but going to college is kind of a big deal. So that could have something to do with it. Um, you say you, so you live at home, right, with your parents?
Yes.
Do you have exercising machines there, or do you go to the gym?
Usually I go to the gym, yes.
Okay, so that takes up some time in your day, I suppose, just
Yes.
get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just go like once a day for a certain amount of time?
Usually it's twice a day. I'll work out in the morning before school at the gym at our high school, and then I'm also a member of this gym where I live, and I go there usually after school too.
So twice a day.
Yes.
Okay. And you said you don't have any eating patterns that you would think are abnormal or anything?
No, I mean I've never vomited after I ate or anything like that.
Not
Or
the typical.
yeah, nothing typical like that. I don't even like worry about my body image that much. Like I don't. That's why I'm like so confused. I'm really convinced that it's not an eating disorder because I don't worry about that. Like it just doesn't even cross my mind. I just work out to like feel good, and it's it's getting to the point now where I just like if I don't work out, twice a day at least, I just feel like unproductive, and I worry constantly about becoming more anxious if I don't. And um, yeah, things like that. And I guess something drastic that I think about is if I don't work out twice a day, then I'm going to become unhealthy when I'm older. I'll say, like, it catastrophizes every time I think about it, but like, I'll go from, oh, I won't be healthy to, oh, I could be obese when I'm older, or, then, oh, maybe I'll get diabetes, and to like it goes to like the worst extent. I just think about the worst possible thing that could happen.
So working out at least twice a day relieves you of ever becoming sick in the future, or
Yes.
at least obese, something unhealthy,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes you feel better after you exercise. Then.
Yes.
So let's say you have something going on that day, and you won't be able to get to the gym in the afternoon. How does that make you feel?
It freaks me out. I just all these thoughts go into my head like, no, like, okay, if that's happening, then like I have to somehow get a workout in. Like my working out is like a priority.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have something from 6 to 7, and that's normally when I work out, I'm like, okay, I'll work out from 7 to 8 then, or maybe I can go late to this thing, and it kind of interfered with like school things because once I get there, like if I feel really good working out, I'll like do a longer workout, and then I'll come home and be like, oh gosh, like I have to do my homework, like, but working out is like my priority.
So working out twice a day, you will fit in no matter what.
Yes.
Even if that means you don't do your homework that night, or that means you don't hang out with your friends, or go to like a football game, or anything else that you have going on.
Yeah.
You need to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, so explain to me your other daily habits, just in general, like after you work out.
After I work out, I always shower. So I mean, I shower twice a day for sure. Sometimes I even shower, right after I get home from school before I work out the second time, just because I feel dirty. I don't know, like I do that. That's quite a bit, and my friends are always telling me that that's odd. But to me, like I'm just like, well, it's better than like smelling or whatever. I don't know. So I guess that's something that's kind of different for most people. But to me, like it relieves me the more I shower. And so yeah, I wake up and I work out and then shower and then go to school and come home, usually shower, work out again, shower, and then work on homework from there. And the other thing is like I always consider myself a germaphobe, like like just kind of joking around when I use that. Yeah, because I wash my hands a lot, but I don't really think that it's a huge problem. I don't know. I just
No.
I like to be healthy, so.
Yeah. So washing your hands throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
does that ever get in the way? Like, I mean, if you're in class, do you ever feel the need to leave class to wash your hands or to do something like hand sanitizer? Do you use that all
Oh
the
yeah,
time?
I've always got hand sanitizer on me. But sometimes hand sanitizer, I don't know, this might be kind of weird, but it doesn't even like. Sometimes I feel like it's not enough, and so like if I am in class and I like pick something up off the floor, like a pencil that I dropped, I definitely have to go into the bathroom and
So
wash
you
my
leave
hands.
class often to
Yes.
go wash your hands?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you are washing your hands, does that usually take some time, or is it more just the typical hand wash that?
Um. Yeah. I mean, I'm always that girl that like is washing her hands like longer than everyone else, but I don't know if I
So you're
just.
thorough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably like
Not
at
a
least
bad
30
thing.
seconds.
Okay, so you say that your friends point out that you work out a lot more than average, you shower more than average, you are kind of worried about washing your hands and being dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, and you said that it affects, so your eating patterns, you say there are not any differences. Like if you will see your friends eating, it's not more or less than what you eat.
Yeah.
It's just average.
Yeah, it's just average. I eat quite a bit. I just haven't noticed anything changing in that. Like I don't try to eat less or like diet or anything like that.
But you try to eat healthy.
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of related to exercising and to stay healthy. I've seen a pattern here about staying healthy.
Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed that too. Um, Showering to stay clean, exercising to stay thin, or just average. Do you ever worry that you'll get too thin if you keep exercising at this rate?
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I'm like, okay, well, if I don't want to be anorexic, like I don't want to look like a skeleton, and so I'm like, okay, yeah, like I don't want to be thin. I just don't know how to like control the thoughts that come into my head because it's more like just be healthy, like, and if you're healthy, you won't be like too thin. I don't know. It sounds so disoriented when I say it, but.
Do you personally notice problems with your exercising patterns? Do you think it's, I mean, is this normal for you?
Yeah, I would say it is.
Okay. And what do your friends ever go with you at any points of the day? Like, is it kind of a routine for them too to just go once a day? Obviously not.
Yeah.
Or do you go alone?
Usually I'm alone. Sometimes people will come every once in a while, but usually I'm alone.
Okay. Yeah, so what I'm seeing is, I mean, your doctor did think there was some sort of eating disorder, which off the bat you'd think that, because you're losing weight kind of drastically. But what I've noticed is that you have a pattern of wanting to stay healthy, whether that's staying away from germs or staying thin or healthily, like not getting obese. or getting any diseases from that.
Mhm.
Um, Eating healthy, I've noticed all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And I've also noticed that it maybe interferes with your life a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not that you notice right off the bat, but I know your friends have said, you said your friends noticed.
Yep.
Your doctor did obviously notice that there was weight changes, which could be a problem in the long run. Um, but the here and now, it's definitely kind of interfering with school. And
Right.
as a senior, you want good grades to get into college, and that might stress you out a little bit. Does that sound right? Stresses
Yeah,
you out?
I guess hearing you kind of say it, I guess it does interfere with my life more than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess just by saying that I have to get a workout in twice a day. I mean, I guess that is kind of a time commitment, you know what I mean? And I could spend that time doing other things, but I can't, it's just like an overwhelming, like, obsessive thought.
So it's just an automatic thought that you have. It just
Yeah.
you look in the mirror and you think, I didn't exercise today,
Yeah,
or
I need to.
I feel dirty because I've only showered once today,
Mhm.
and that's not enough.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, like it catastrophizes to far in the future. Like if I'm not healthy, I'll end up alone. Oh my gosh, I could be obese. I could, if I'm obese, then I might be diabetic. I'll end up alone, and it just like it kind of like consumes me.
So I heard you just say now that you'll end up alone if you have any of those diseases. Are you worried about maybe not having friends or not having a spouse in the future because you'll be unhealthy? Is that how
Yes.
dramatic it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So that definitely interferes with your life, if you're worried about that all the time and not focusing on things that could be more important at the time, like high school, social life, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Do you ever do any yoga maybe or meditation just to relax you? I suppose you don't really make time for that.
Yeah. No, I haven't ever really made time for it. I've never really thought about it.
Okay. In our next sessions, I definitely want to talk about relaxation therapy, just to maybe instead of going to work out, you'll do yoga instead, because that's definitely something healthy, but it relaxes you. Maybe, you can cut down on the exercising and the excessive cleaning and whatever, just
Yeah.
to relax a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, it would also be good, to point out some of the negative thoughts you have been having about being alone and being unhealthy. Those automatic thoughts, I should say.
Yes.
And for the next session, it would be nice if we could maybe, like on your own, just when you're doing your daily thing, you can journal kind of what you do every day. Give me a schedule of your day.
Okay.
And when you're doing that, kind of think of some goals that, okay, I noticed today I showered 3 times. Maybe my goal for next time, which we can talk about, will be to shower twice a day. We'll just make goals to eliminate things or add things, whatever we need to do.
Okay.
But definitely goal setting works really well with stuff like this, because it sounds kind of like there's some obsessions with health here, which would lead to certain compulsions and showering often and working out. It's definitely something that I've seen people have their own ways of fixing that stuff, fixing their anxiety, letting it out, helping their automatic thoughts, whatever they need to do.
Yeah, and I'm like always known as like the health freak, like or like the germ freak. I don't know, like people always like joke about it or whatever, but I've never really thought about it to be a serious issue. But now, kind of hearing myself say it, it is kind of obsessive, and to the point where like if I'm having to leave class because my hands feel dirty from like picking up a pencil, I mean, it just to other people that sounds weird, and I don't want to sound like a weirdo.
No, that's a good way to think of it. So in your mind, that what you do is probably not normal or not necessarily helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, um, when your friends point out that you're working out a lot, you realize you are, but you can't really stop yourself from doing it. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that tends to happen. If there's any sort of OCD or something in there, or just anxiety, a lot of times you would realize what's going on. You realize that what you're doing is not helpful,
Mhm.
but you do it anyway,
Right.
because you need some sort of release,
Mhm.
something to let that out. That's why I think these goal settings will be really good for you, just to try to make it so that those kids don't continue to germaphobe. Do they ever say, like, why they think you're germaphobe?
Um, I think, I mean, I'm just really organized and I like my stuff neat. So I don't know. I don't know. It's mainly for the washing of the hands. Like I always do it before and after lunch, and like always be like, oh, like come with me or whatever, and like, oh my gosh, you have to wash your hands again, and like little things like that. But I just figured it was like joking around, and I was just a germ freak. But I mean, hearing myself kind of say it out loud, it is kind of to the point where it's definitely noticeable, and
Mm-hmm.
it is not normal. It's abnormal because I guess it's one thing to be neat and clean or whatever, but I, the fact that I have like thoughts about it all the time is just, it's kind of overwhelming, and it makes me feel like sometimes like there's something wrong with me or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Do you think you'd ever lose your friends because you drag them along to these, or they just might get annoyed with it? Does that worry you at all?
Um, yeah, it does. I guess the thought is there. The thought, it's kind of like the thought of being alone. It's like, oh, I might lose my friends, I might lose my friends. But when I actually like say something about it, then it's like I don't know, hearing myself say it out loud, it sounds so stupid. Like, okay, I'm not gonna lose my friends because I wash my hands too much. But when I internalize it and think about it over and over, it becomes so real to me.
Yeah.
And it always occurs. Like, pretty much underlying everything, the thought that I have is that I'm gonna end up alone.
Mm-hmm. Recently, has anything happened with that? Have you lost friends? Have you broken up with anybody? Like, is there anything in your current life that has changed or is hard for you to deal with at all?
Not really, nothing specifically. Um, I do have a boyfriend, but he just, like I said, we're not really serious or anything, so he just kind of gives me crap like everyone else. But the closer like college is like approaching, I feel like my anxiety goes up because it's like, okay, like we're all gonna go to just different schools, like people are gonna meet people that aren't obsessed with washing their hands like I am, so therefore like they're not gonna be my friends anymore. And it sounds so distorted, but it feels so real to me. But nothing drastic has happened. I haven't lost like anyone or lost any friends due to it.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Does your boyfriend ever say anything that makes you feel like you're unhealthy or that worries you that he'll leave you if he, maybe he doesn't accuse you of being, having a problem or anything, but does he ever say anything?
Yeah, he gives me a lot of crap for working out all the time. Like he'll just be like, no, like guys are supposed to do that. And I did tell him about my doctor's appointment and how they thought that I had an eating disorder, and he kind of got like frustrated with that because he was like, well, I always tell you like you work out too much. And I like try explaining to him and my family, and I tried to do to my doctor too. It's not like I'm not concerned with being fat necessarily. It's more like the health effects that come from it. Like getting sick, like getting diabetes because I'm fat. It's not really like, oh, I can't be fat because I'd be ugly. It's just, it's more like, it sounds so weird. It's so hard to explain, but it's more like what happens inside. Like, my ultimate fear is being alone, and then I would say, like, getting cancer. It's just like, I cannot, I need to be healthy. I need to be healthy. And someone's only going to want me if I'm healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's two things right there that kind of is where your energy is going towards, being healthy and not being alone. I think we could say that, I mean, I don't want to rush or be rash about this, but I think we can eliminate the eating disorder problem because you did say that you think you eat like anyone else
Mm-hmm.
without, that doesn't have a disorder. I still would like you to journal that when you're journaling your day, write down what you eat, when, how you feel when you're eating, just so we can really truly rule that out.
Okay.
Because that would definitely be another issue. If we have maybe the OCD kind of coming in
Mm-hmm.
and the eating disorder, if we can rule that out, that would be perfect.
Right.
So definitely put that in your journaling. You can also, kind of journal things like what your friends say during the day, what your boyfriend says. Does he exercise a lot too like this, or is he less of a?
Yeah, he's a pretty big football player.
Mm.
So he does football, basketball, and baseball. So he does three sports year round, and
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, he works out quite a bit. So he probably doesn't think about it as much as maybe my friends do because he's so into it as well. But like I said, like you can tell I definitely stand out because he still like brings it up to me, and sometimes he'll be like, "Oh, you're like a dude, like you're obsessed with, like being fit and whatnot." So I don't know, little comments like that that I never thought were a big deal, but they might indicate that it's abnormal.
When he tells you that stuff, how does that make you feel?
Usually I just brush it off. I never usually think about it.
Okay, that's good to know. Are you in any sports?
I used to be the last 3 years I was in dance, but my senior year I just kind of wanted to take a break and I'm not going to do anything in college, so I figured I would work on my studies. And I mean, I don't know what you think, but maybe that's why like my anxiety went up because I wasn't like in a specific sport.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
when you eliminated the sport of dance, I'm sure in dance you worked out a lot. It's, tough sport. You're working out a lot just in
Mhm.
that one aspect of your life. If you eliminate that, you would have nothing. So you kind of replace that with going to the gym and eating healthy and, trying to stay fit on your own without having the structured dance schedule,
Right.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, and yeah, hearing you say that, I totally agree with that 100%. I think that it's almost like I make up for not being in a sport now. Like I overcompensate. So,
Okay, well, definitely we're gonna work on the journaling and definitely I want you to set 3 goals for next time that you
okay.
think you can eliminate or add or help you in some way.
Mhm.
And then we'll talk about those next time.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Awesome. Yes. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you for coming in.